An armored truck driver sustains injuries after being shot in Oxon Hill this afternoon. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with that late-breaking story. Suspects are still on the loose after an armored car employee was shot this afternoon in Oxon Hill. The incident happened around 1 p.m. in the 6300 block of Livingston Road. Police say the vehicle was dropping off cash to the Save-A-Lot grocery store. That's when 3 or 4 men jumped out of a car and an altercation occurred.
The initial investigation suggests that soon after the armored car stopped, one of the employees was in the process of unloading the armored car to make a money transfer inside the store, and they were approached by 3 to 4 black male suspects who were inside a gray or silver 4-door passenger car. The suspects exited that car. 1 or more of those suspects were armed. A confrontation ensued during which one of the employees was shot.
The suspects fled the scene with an unknown amount of money. The guard is expected to be okay. His injuries are considered to be non-life-threatening.
Well, if there is a storm blackout or other major disaster, will you be safe? Officials from PEPCO, EMS, and fire departments in Montgomery and Prince George's counties gathered today to talk about just that. They outlined their current plans to communicate with the public during a major storm.
One of the things that we saw today was that a lot of our EMAs have never even thought about these type of situations. If we were to lose all of our generation coming into this area, if all of our customers were without power, 780,000 people, what do your plans tell you to do? How do we communicate with each other? How do we start to restore power to this area? And then what do they need to do in the meantime? How do they address the situations that are critical? Life safety issues, sheltering in place, the fact of simply communicating out to the customers because of the lack of battery backup or the lack of the fact that many of the places don't have beyond 8 hours the capacity to communicate with people. So really that's what this was about.
And PEPCO hosted today's event.
Many people say it's the most wonderful time of the year, but did you know that it can also be the most dangerous? According to the National Fire Protection Association, more than 100 home fires involve holiday lights. More than 200 incidents happen because of Christmas trees. For this, the Prince George's Fire Department offers a couple safety decoration tips.
Number one, they need to inspect all their materials, and it starts when you're going out to purchase your tree. If you're going to use a tree, make sure you pick one that's fresh, and when you bend the needles, that they bend back, they don't break off. And what that proves is that it's well hydrated and it's not a dry tree. When you bring it in, you cut off the bottom of the trunk so that that tree can drink and keep it continuously hydrated, pouring water into that container, the base container, constantly, because that water will continue to stay fresh for a number of days before it starts to dry out. When you put on your decorations, your electrical lights, make sure that they're not broken, that the wires are not frayed, all the bulbs are in their receptacles correctly. What we're trying to avoid here is some type of electrical short that could ignite that Christmas tree.
Fire officials also stress the importance of maintaining a natural tree. In this video, you can see how a dry tree spreads flames quicker than a moist one. Holiday decorations and tree fires are attributed to 21 annual deaths and more than $20 million in damages. The trial of a Prince George's sheriff's deputy charged with second-degree rape has been postponed because of a delay in evidence gathering. 32-year-old Lamar McIntyre is accused of taking 35-year-old Elise Reeves to a basement holding cell at the courthouse in Upper Marlboro and forcing her to perform sexual acts. Reeves is now filing a $15 million lawsuit against the deputy sheriff. McIntyre has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
A second Marylander has died in connection with a fungal meningitis outbreak that started with tainted steroid injections. So far, 25 cases have been identified in the state and more than 500 across the U.S. The New England distributor is being blamed for allegedly producing contaminated medication. Patients receive the steroids through spinal injections to treat back pain. So far, more than 37 patients have died in more than a dozen states. Well, Maryland is among the first 6 states in the U.S. to receive conditional approval to operate a state-based health insurance exchange in 2014. The exchange will operate Maryland Health Connection, an online system where individuals, families, and small businesses can compare health insurance options. You can also determine eligibility for tax credits and cost-sharing reductions and enroll in qualified health plans or public programs such as Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program. You can sign up for updates by logging on to marylandhealthconnection.gov. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.